What?
Frank. Let me see it.
Oh, I got
Oh, hello, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic show that we have going on today. Lots of fun things in line. Frank, hopefully staying safe from, is it Hurricane Helene?
Helene.
Helene. It's right,
Yeah.
going to shoot right up Tallahassee's beehole there.
Right up our poop chute. Yeah.
So Frank is hoping that they're able to stay safe. We are, of course, joined again by Brandon, a.k.a. Strategy Bro. Hello. Still in Wisconsin?
Still in Wisconsin. I'm even wearing the shirt today.
He is wearing the shirt. And then we also have diehard Canes fan Beard. I would almost say borderline delusional Canes fan Beard.
I don't know what delusion you're talking about. Have you seen Cam Ward this year?
Wait till he plays some actual competition. So that's actually one of the things that I kind of want to bring up. And because you have coming up on October 26th is when Miami plays Florida State. Frank, obviously a big Florida State fan living in Tallahassee. And Beard apparently doesn't know the thumbs are supposed to touch, dude. Who's this?
No, they're not. Look at the logo. They don't touch.
And so coming up on the live stream on October 23rd, I want to figure out and play some games that are Florida State and Miami related. Like, who knows their team the best? Like, give Frank a Florida State quiz, give the Beard a Miami quiz, but then I kind of want to do like an ACC type of a quiz or something to test their overall knowledge, or even just overall college football to see how well they actually know college football. But we will see that. Hopefully that comes up on the 23rd. We need to know what the Beard's schedule is going to be looking like coming up. What else do we have here?
Nuts.
Coming up, things you didn't know. Tonight we're going to be covering Creed's Human Clay.
Woo!
We're going to be talking Freaks and Geeks, a show that unfortunately only lasted one season, and it's fantastic with an all-star cast before they all made it big. The Susan Smith fake carjacking. Do you guys remember that story from back in the day?
Yeah, I remember that entire thing.
Man, it's just... There's more stuff that happened afterwards. I'll leave it at that. Like, it's not just...
There's always more.
Oh, it was just...
Did he showed up?
I mean, there is sex involved. I'm gonna there's your tease. I'll leave it at that. We're gonna talk about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Disney World, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Plus, we're gonna do a Will Smith movie draft. And then coming up at the end, we're gonna play JACKBOX party games. If you're not familiar with that, all you need to do is have your phone. You can play along on YouTube. We're going to play a variety of different games for maybe about 30 minutes or so, depending on time. And you can play along. You can either play directly in the game with us, depending on which one we choose. Or if you want, you can just play as an audience member more anonymously as well. Deuce Climax says Noah the Beard Tanner. Do we know who this Deuce Climax is, Beard?
Probably a deuce.
Yes. He's a former tour manager, actually, that I worked with.
Well, hello, Deuce. How are you? Pleasure to meet you, sir. Here's what you get on my live stream.
A deuce for yourself.
Yeah, a deuce. Yeah, so we're changing it up a little bit. We normally do like a 90s trivia and stuff like that. I decided to switch this live stream up just a little bit. I honestly thought that I was going to have this live stream by myself because Frank texted me a couple of days ago because Hurricane Helene was tracking down. He wasn't sure when it was going to hit. So I reached out to the Beard to be like, hey, can you jump on? And then Brandon reached out to me today and he was like, hey, do you need me? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Let's rock and roll with everybody. This is going to be great.
Bunch going on here.
Hurricane party.
A hurricane party. We were actually reminiscing about all the hurricanes that we had been through. My
first in
first
Florida, you're a veteran.
Yeah, my first summer living down in like the Miami Fort Lauderdale area was 2005, and that was Katrina and Rita and Wilma all blew through. And to this day, one of my it's not a claim to fame, but one of my prouder moments is I lit a cigarette during a hurricane. I was just like, I'm sitting in my apartment. The power's already gone out. I'm reading a Carl Hyacin book. I've got an entire fifth of vodka, and I'm like, I got to do something cool, man. So I just said, screw it. and I opened up the sliding patio door, and I went outside, and I lit a cigarette during a hurricane.
You didn't know how Florida man you were at that moment.
Yeah, I was loving it. I was loving it. But the first thing that we get to here on the live stream is we go through the YouTube polls. So every day, I put a different YouTube poll up on my page. And you can find this if you go to youtube.com/TheRealBrandalorian. Right there, what you can see is up towards the top a bunch of different tabs. And it might say posts or it might say community, depending on, I don't know, actually. Like, I've just heard that it's written as both. And so there you can find all of these posts that we put up. And so we cover the previous week's posts, a lot of the polls, and a lot of them have to do with the previous week's topics that we talked about. And so I believe last week we did, was it last week we did the 1994 movie draft? Or was that the previous week?
I think that was last week, wasn't it?
I think
Either
Stephen
way.
King was last
I mean, we're
week.
not even paying attention to our own,
Yeah.
We did 2 of them. I know that much.
Yeah, I can't remember which. It's all these are just kind of blending together. But so the first poll we have here, this one was
No,
a
we
week
did
ago.
Bill Murray and Stephen King.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so the 1994 one was the previous, but I wanted to recover, I guess, the best movies from 1994 because it's up to about 1,000 votes at this point. The 4 options: Dumb and Dumber, Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, and Pulp Fiction. And we will start with The Beard. Who do you think won that poll?
I'm gonna say I think Shawshank won, but that wouldn't be my vote. But that's what I'm gonna say the people voted for.
So which one would be your vote?
Probably Pulp Fiction.
Okay. All right, Brandon, which one do you think won the vote?
I'm gonna go with Forrest Gump.
He's going Forrest Gump. All right, Frank?
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I think when you looked at it last time, Forrest was in the lead, so I'm pretty sure Forrest won.
You're sticking with Forrest
Yeah,
Gump, and we
it's
have...
like one dude voting 2,000 times.
Yeah. Brandon and Frank get the point. Now,
Tom Hanks.
here's the interesting thing. I had to redo the entire overlay and everything. That's what's around us. And if you look over here at Frank, you see the little zeros and the one right there for Brandon and the one over there for the beard. I didn't relabel those, so I don't know whose score is which. So I don't know which button to hit. So I'm going to shoot from the hip here. I'm assuming this one's Frank. Nope, that's Brandon.
That was Brandon.
All right.
And then I'm going to guess that this one then is Frank. All right.
Hey.
Okay, so let me see here. I've got
Sure.
Frank, Brandon, Beard. Frank, Brandon, Beard. Frank, Brandon, Beard. Okay. Shoot from the hip there. All right, yeah. So Forrest Gump took that poll. 45% of the people voted for it for the best movie of 1994. Now, the next one, what is the best movie based on Stephen King's work? Which apparently somebody was very upset that I included The Shawshank Redemption in this. Because that was written by Frank Darabont. That wasn't written by Stephen King. Well, I mean, it's based on his short story. So the
Yeah,
four
wasn't it rewritten? Like it was co-opted or like optioned, right? And then they rewrote it.
kinda, but I mean, it was heavily based on
Stephen King.
It was enough to the fact that the question says movie based on Stephen King's work that it's still based on his work. So the 4 options I put on there were Carrie, The Shawshank Redemption, The Shining, or Stand By Me. And we'll go to Brandon on this one. Which one do you think won the poll?
I'm gonna say The Shining.
He's going with The Shining. Frank?
Man. Yeah, we'll go Shining.
All right, Frank's going Shining. Beardley?
I mean, I guess I gotta be a follower because I was totally thinking Shining also.
Everybody's going with The Shining?
Does it Stand By Me?
Wow.
Carrie.
No.
Shawshank.
Shawshank Redemption.
Now we're just throwing shit at
But
a
yeah,
wall.
49% of the vote went to Shawshank Redemption. The Shining did come in second place, by the way.
If you would have put Maximum Overdrive, that would have taken it. I don't care
There
what
was
you said.
more than a few people in the comments who put, where the hell is Maximum Overdrive? All right, this next one had to do with Modern Family, but I'm gonna skip this one in regards to for you guys guessing because I don't picture you 3 as Modern Family aficionados. But I put which family would you want to live with in Modern Family? Because essentially it follows the 3 different families. There was Cam and Mitchell, Jay and Gloria, and Phil and Claire. And Phil and Claire ended up winning that one, 54% of the vote. Which Muppet would you want to have a drink with? I was racking my brain trying to figure out how to include the Muppets in a poll, and I was like, which one would you want to have a drink with? Like, it was just a random thought that I had in my head. So the 4 options are Animal, Dr. Teeth, Gonzo, or Pepe the Prawn. Beard, which one do you think won the poll of which one would you want to have a drink with?
Animal.
All right, Beard is saying Animal. Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah, Animal.
He's going Aminal.
Aminal.
I'm going with Aminal. That's a modified option.
Frank?
Why wasn't the chef on that? The chef would have been fun to have a drink with.
Yeah, I would want him to make me my drink.
He probably would have made more sense drunk.
Now, dude, what if he became super eloquent?
Yeah,
Or
like,
Adam,
him or Beaker would start talking just normal.
They have these
I'm
very
gonna go,
sensual voices all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dr. Teeth.
He's going Dr. Teeth.
He seems like a good time.
Brandon and Beard. Animal. Now, Frank, I would have voted for Dr. Teeth. Let me make sure I get these points right.
He'd have some stories.
That's what I've learned from these polls is you can't go with what you think is the right answer. You gotta kind of
Go with what the 12-year-olds vote
the
for?
masses.
Yeah, it's almost never what you would vote for. But yeah, Animal, 48% of the vote. Gonzo came in second at 30.
I can see that.
Although I could see Gonzo trying to get you to have sex with a chicken, oddly enough.
That or he tried to talk you out of some money for some weird, design or thing that he was coming up with.
And then
A
Dr.
nose straightener.
Actually-
Startup.
Yeah.
Pepe the Prawn doesn't get enough credit. Pepe the Prawn is a fantastic Muppet. So, but he only came in with 10% of the vote.
Well, he came around like the late 90s or something like that?
Yeah, I think
So, probably why.
the one that I first heard
Rizzo
about
the Rat would have been a good one.
Rizzo would have been a great one. Did you know that they were going to do a Muppet-themed restaurant in, I can't remember if it was Disneyland or Disney World. And they were going to have the rats deliver the food to you. They were going to have a whole little trolley system throughout the whole restaurant, and they were going to deliver you your food. Obviously, that never came to fruition.
That would have been awesome.
All right.
That's to them.
Next poll. What was the best TGIF show on ABC? The 4 options were Full House, Family Matters, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or Boy Meets World. Who did I go to first on that last one? Beard?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go to Brandon this time. Which one do you think won the poll?
Oh man, this one's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Family Matters.
All right, Family Matters for Brandon. Frank?
I love Family Matters, but I think more people recognize and know Full House. So
All
I'm
right,
going to go with
Frank
Full
is
House.
going Full House. Beard?
Just because of their name, I have to go Full House.
He's going Full House. And Frank and Beard. Let me see if I got that right. And we're all tied up at 2 across the board. Yeah, it was.
I love Family Matters. It's a great show, though.
Family Matters was great. And the one that actually I didn't even put on the list that I loved was Step by Step.
Yep.
Step by Step was fantastic.
Yeah.
Ooh, here you go.
What were the numbers for that again? Like how close was it?
So 43% of people voted for Full House, and that was pretty handily in first. But then Family Matters had 22%, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Boy Meets World both tied at 17. Now here's a football-related poll for you. Frank, you get to go first on this one.
Oh, boy.
Which rookie quarterback is going to have the better season? This poll went up before Jaden Daniels went off on Monday Night Football against the Bengals, by the way. But the 3 options were Bo Nix for Denver, Caleb Williams for Chicago, or Jaden Daniels for Washington. Frank, who do you think won the poll?
What was the second one again?
Caleb Williams.
Oh, no, yeah, it'll be Daniels because Williams is looking poopy.
Poopy, he says. All right, Beard.
Yeah, it's got to be Jaden Daniels. He's the only one that looks like a real quarterback.
All right, and Brandon, who do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree.
Everybody's going Jaden Daniels, and everybody is wrong.
They went with Williams, didn't they? Those
Bo
losers.
Nix, 66%.
Really?
No, I'm fucking with you. No, he came in a distant third.
I was say he had a good game against my Bucks though this weekend.
He did. Still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 3 games now. Caleb Williams, 46% of the vote. Jaden Daniels, 41% of the vote. I guarantee, because I
That
think
was
it.
before.
I was gonna, I put it up, and it still will show up, but I think it pushes the polls closer to when you put them up on YouTube. So I think if I had done this one on Tuesday, Jaden Daniels, I think I might redo this poll just to see what people say for next week.
I mean, the Bears barely have a pulse, so I don't know. I mean, and just being a Packers fan, like that's
And
not.
he paints
It's-
his nails.
Man, it's
Yeah.
gotta be the coaching staff, because Caleb Williams has talent. You have DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, like you have talented players. There's no.
I just feel
Now, of course-
bad. I feel so bad for Bears fans.
Yeah,
Like, and that's just. I mean,
they're
man,
going to be
you
good.
cannot catch a break.
They're going to be good in 2 to 3 years, guaranteed. All right, next one we
If they
have.
replace that coaching
The way they
staff.
draft.
Well, I don't know. Or they could just keep making trades with Carolina and just end up with like 3 times the draft picks. Next YouTube poll, we got 2 more. What's the best zombie movie of all time?
The one where there aren't zombies.
Is it 28 Days Later, Night of the Living Dead, Shaun of the Dead, or Zombieland? Beard, what do you think won the poll?
Shaun of the Dead.
He's going Shaun of the Dead. Brandon, what do you think?
I really want to say Shaun of the Dead, but I'm going with Zombieland.
All right, he's going Zombieland. Frank, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's Zombieland. That people just love that one.
No,
Wow.
Zombieland came in 4th.
Wow.
Really?
28 Days Later.
Okay.
I mean, granted, it's a good zombie movie.
Oh,
I
it's
like
a-
fast zombies.
It's yeah, that's the one thing that when they start to run, that's when Frank taps out.
Yeah, I'm
And
out. When I start parkouring, I'm out of there, man.
Yeah, so 28 Days Later got 45% of the vote. Night of the Living Dead, 21%. Shaun of the Dead, 19%. And Zombieland, 15%. And coincidentally, my favorite zombie movie, I didn't even put on the list. And that was the Dawn of the Dead remake from 2005.
You just like it because the dude from Modern Family is hitting up that chick in the mall.
Oh, he's totally tapping it. But that's during the scene where they put in Richard Cheese's version of Down with the Sickness.
Mhm.
I love that movie. I think it's great. All right, final poll here. What is Bill Murray's best movie? This, of course, goes back to our movie draft from last week. I put Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, Scrooged, or Stripes. Brandon, what do you think won the poll?
I'm gonna go with Groundhog Day.
All right, Frank?
One more time.
Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, Scrooged, or Stripes?
Ghostbusters, definitely Ghostbusters.
Beard?
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
He's going Ghostbusters, and Frank and Beard get the point, and pretty handily in first place. Ghostbusters with 64% of the vote, Groundhog Day with 20%, Scrooged with 7%, and Stripes with 9%.
See, I figured coming off of 28 Days Later, you know, it was gonna go. Let's go with the classic, like, you know.
I don't blame you at all. But
There was a strategy there.
there was a strategy from the Strategy Bro.
Strategy.
It's time for things you didn't know. First up for today, with arms wide open, it's Creed, Human Clay. And I got to tell you, Creed got a lot of hate. You can put him right up there with Nickelback. I've been involved in multiple interviews with Scott Stapp, and that guy's always been awesome. He's always been willing to kind of poke fun at himself, be a little self-deprecating. He's always been great. But how 90s is the image on this album cover, by the way?
Dude, that was futuristic for its time, though. Come on, what are you talking about?
Well, it was released on September 28th, 1999. You think it would look a little bit better than that. I mean, you're
Well,
still...
you remember their first album cover?
Uh-huh.
How wild that one was?
Well, this was, the second studio album from Creed. And it had the hits Higher, What If, With Arms Wide Open, and Are You Ready? Are You Ready?
I have not an interesting story, but you know, Creed got big here in Tallahassee. That's like where they became very popular. And around 97, you started hearing about them around town. And our local station was playing their music on their locals, like at Local at 7 or whatever the hell it was. And we used to, some of the high school girls, because there was a venue here in town called Floyd's. They would have an all ages show, and Creed was a lot of those all ages shows. So you would have some of these high school girls that would come back after a weekend and just talk about how great Creed was and how hot the band was. And I had never heard of them until I think their second album. It was just under the radar for me. But yeah, there was a lot going on here when they were here in town. I think from like 95 to 97.
And Frank would go to the show and throw his panties on stage.
Dude, if I would have, I probably would have. But I was
That's what
not.
you want to be big with. The high
I was
school
not-
girl crowd.
Yeah, I was not cool at that time, so I didn't know anything about that stuff. I was like, okay,
How'd that go?
okay.
So the album sold 315,000 copies in its first week, hitting #1 in the United States. Obviously, this is a newer picture of Creed. And it is the 54th best-selling album of all time, and it was certified 11 times platinum on January 29th, 2004. According to Mark Tremonti, who, by the way, freaking shreds. As
Yeah.
much hate as they would get, that dude can play the guitar.
Plus, he is shredded.
And look at them veins. So he said that the album cover represents a crossroad which every man finds himself at in his life, and the man of clay represents our actions, that what we are is up to us, that we lead our own path and make our own destiny.
I still love the Super Bowl commercial for Paramount when Patrick Stewart is going to kick, going to throw.
They're
what is it?
Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Arnold.
And they start right when he's about to throw him. Creed starts playing, and
Yeah.
the dude, I can't remember the show that one guy's from. He's like, oh no, Drew Barrymore goes, oh, and Creed's here. They start playing higher.
Shut up, Barrymore.
Kings of Dad Rock.
So one
Oh
review
man.
of the album that came from Thomas Erlewine, and he said, "It may not be the kind of thing that knocks out critics or grunge purists, but it does deliver for anyone looking for direct grunge-flavored hard rock."
Okay.
Would you even remotely connect Creed to grunge?
No, it was like
I
hardcore Christian rock is what they were.
I wouldn't call them grunge or hard rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say either or. Actually, we did convince our youth group pastor that it was okay to listen to Creed because of
I mean,
that. So that totally passes that check, certified.
Yeah, all his songs are
I
religious
guess that was
based.
pre him being naked in the hallway at the hotel.
Yeah, like the first two albums, if you listen to their songs, they're very heavily like religious based. Like the stuff he sings and talks about, it's pretty wild. And then he went fucking nuts.
I mean, he found his own crossroads, right?
he did have his
Definitely
own.
took a path.
He did have his own struggles, and finally, a lot of the music from the album is featured in other media, including the song "Wrong Way" on the End of Days soundtrack. Which, by the way, I friggin' love this soundtrack. The Korn song is top notch right there. And the Eminem song as well, called Bad Influence. And then it was also What If was in the soundtrack for the movie Scream 3.
Scream, yeah, that's
Scream,
actually
yeah.
a decent song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that What If song fucking hits.
Oh, dude,
that's not bad.
That's in a consistent workout playlist for me with Scream 3.
Yeah, that one actually hits. Out of all of them, I think that's probably one of my favorite ones. That one actually fucking hits. Yeah, like they get into it.
Right
video
after
is-
Jock Jams.
Yeah, the video is weird, but that song actually hits. Have you seen the video for that song?
I don't think so. I mean, I may have
It
like
ha-
way back in the day.
It's like they go into a studio and it's one of the houses for Scream 3 and like, oh yeah, let's check it out. And it's like the band with all these hot chicks. Then the Scream guy shows up and Dewey's there and some of the other characters, and then they just start breaking out in the middle of the video playing music and the guys running around killing people. It's just the weirdest fucking thing.
Well, I know what I'm watching when this stream is over. Things you didn't know about Freaks and Geeks. It debuted September 25th, 1999. It lasted only one season, but you had the cast of Linda Cardellini, John Francis Daly, James Franco, Sam Levine, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Martin Starr, and then not in this picture, but over here you also have Busy Phillips. And do you guys recognize John Flaherty?
Mm-hmm.
So,
From Happy Gilmore and a bunch of other
hey,
stuff.
Shooter, want to go to
Jackass.
Jackass. So, John Francis Daly, he was the only actor playing a character that was his own age. He was 14 when they filmed the show. Most everybody else was kind of close, but they weren't their own age, except for Linda Cardellini, who was 24 years old playing a 16-year-old.
Did he go on to Bones, that show Bones later? Is that the same guy?
The only thing I heard you say was Bones twice. What was that sentence?
Yeah, Bones. You know Bones? The Bones show on Fox? Bones?
Yeah, what about it?
Lot of Bones. Did he go to, was he the psychiatrist or whatever that was on that show?
I don't know, but I do know that he is the one that goes on to be the trainee in the movie Waiting.
I think he might have been in Bones. I could be wrong, but he looks just like the guy from Bones.
Well, somebody in the
I just wanna
comments,
keep
let
saying
Frank
Bones.
know if
saying
he's right,
Bones.
if he was in Bones. By the way, make sure you're clicking that like down there
Bones.
and subscribe to the channel, but definitely click that like if you guys are enjoying these videos. Now, the majority of the show's budget actually went to the music. There were more than 120 songs used in the 18 episodes, including Joan Jett's Bad Reputation, which played during the opening credits. They even delayed the DVD release, and Fox eventually removed a lot of the music for reruns to avoid paying extra fees. That's just how much music was in this show.
Weird cover.
Well, I mean, this was just an image of an oral history. I just took that from somebody. And almost all of the storylines. So this is one of the co-creators. This is Paul Feig.
The guy who directed the worst Ghostbusters ever.
And he's the one that directed Bridesmaids.
Yeah, that one wasn't that good either.
No, Bridesmaids is great. Almost all of the storylines in the show actually happened to the writer. So when they came on as a writer, he gave them a questionnaire with questions like, what was the best thing that happened to you in high school? What was the most humiliating first sexual thing that you did? And those stories ended up in the actual storyline, except for one big storyline that involved Seth Rogen's character, Ken. This was inspired by Howard Stern, where Ken finds out that his girlfriend was born an intersex woman. Whole storyline. It's great. By the way, if you've never seen Freaks and Geeks, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a shame that it only lasted one season.
Could never find an audience.
It ended up, well, it struggled because of scheduling issues. It was actually taken off of the air during the World Series. It aired on, I believe, NBC. And this was back when NBC had the World Series, not Fox. And it was then eventually put up against
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
And that was right when that show first hit at its peak, man. And it just absolutely crushed Freaks and Geeks. And the producers actually created a website for Freaks and Geeks, but NBC refused to use it in advertisements because they didn't want to promote using the internet over watching television.
Okay.
Brilliant
20
move.
years later.
Yep, brilliant move. And I'm leaving this picture up here while we talk about this final one because finally, Paul Feig, he did have ideas for season 2, and that included something bad was going to happen to Lindsay as she takes off and follows the Grateful Dead, destroying her parents' trust. Sam was going to find his voice as a drama geek. Neil joins the school choir. Bill, this is Bill Haberchuck right here, one of my favorite of all time television characters. He ends up becoming a jock under the tutelage of Coach Fredericks, who might have ended up his stepfather. Daniel would end up in jail, and Nick would probably join the army. Now, one of the reasons I bring this picture up,
A lot going on there.
well, I mean, there's a lot of characters. And this is from one particular scene where it's the Geeks. It's Bill Haberchuck and his friends. And they have all these different ingredients on the kitchen table. And he tells them, I think it's for like $5 or something like that. They blindfold him. He goes, whatever you put in the blender, I'll drink it. Now, it can't be anything toxic. It can't be like Clorox bleach or anything like that, but I will drink it. And so they put a stocking cap over him, and they just put all kinds of gross crap in there, and he ends up drinking it. And then he goes and he drinks more, and they're like, what are you doing? He goes, it's kind of good. And then he just keeps chugging the junk out of the blender. But that's things you didn't know about Freaks and Geeks.
You know, I feel like it would do better nowadays, especially like D&D and nerd culture being a lot more popular.
I think it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, especially when you look at Stranger Things.
Right, that's what I was
It's
thinking.
kind of cool to be a
Stranger
nerd
Things.
now.
Right.
Yeah, this was
That's the
pre.
same. Like as soon as I joined the military, like you didn't talk about being a nerd, and now everybody's a freaking nerd.
Yeah,
Like it's
Yeah.
just,
pseudo nerds, if you will. Things you didn't know about the Susan Smith fake carjacking. If you are not familiar with this story, you didn't grow up in the 90s. On October 25th, 1994, Susan Lee Smith reported to police that her vehicle had been hijacked by a black man who drove away with her sons still in the car. This was her description.
I know that guy.
Now, a little background on her. Her father committed suicide when she was just 6 years old. And she attempted suicide more than once. One time at 13 and another as an adult after a married man she was having an affair with ended their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly there was some stuff that wasn't firing right
Established a
upstairs.
history of good choices.
Exactly.
I think
Now-
there was like some possibility like one or both of the guys, the sons might not have even been her husband's kids. Like she might have got pregnant
Been
outside
sleeping
of the
around?
marriage.
Well, we will get to
Yeah.
that as well. So back to the crime.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more. For 9 days, she would plead on national television for her children's safe return. And then eventually on November 3rd, she confessed to rolling her car into John D. Long Lake. Say that 5 times fast. Drowning her 2 sons who were trapped inside the car.
Is that Jerry Seinfeld with his underage girlfriend at the time on that People magazine?
Oh, well, let's not laugh while we're looking at the kids that passed away.
No, it's. I mean,
talking
sorry,
about
but
here?
it just.
Oh,
Yeah,
that?
wasn't that like the 17-year-old that he was dating at
Yeah,
the time when he was
that's-
like 37?
That's his wife now, I believe, yeah.
No, I think he married. So then that might not be the same chick because he married a different woman, but he was dating like a 16 and 15-year-old like in the late 90s, and nobody cared. Like nobody said anything about it. Like didn't
Hey,
even
we had
work.
defeated communism. People were just, it was celebration. You
They
could wear
realized like,
whatever
where'd you meet him? Oh, we were in the park. Well, does he know you're 17? Yeah, I told him. He comes to my high school and picks me up in the afternoon.
Oh, all right. We got to work on Frank's tact when we're talking about certain things here, especially when we're talking
All
about
right,
kids that were literally murdered. Good job, Frank.
sorry.
So
I mean, they did it. Screw you, people.
so
in the late
she
90s.
claimed this. These were the headlines that we were seeing. Is please return our children. Now she claimed that there was no motive for what she did, and that she was just not in her right state of mind. However, she had been in a relationship with a wealthy local man named Frank Sharples, Tom
Hi.
Findlay. Just before the murders, he had sent her a letter breaking up with her, saying that he did not want children.
Yep.
So people were able to put 2 and 2 together on that one and realize that, so that's probably why she did it. Now, police doubted her carjacking claim from the beginning. They did a search of the lake originally, but they only looked 30 feet out, believing that the car could not have made it any further than that. It was actually found 122 feet from the shore, which is why they didn't find it initially.
I was in 8th grade at that time, and one of my teachers, I remember, because he was super invested in that story, and like he was so upset at first when the kids were like considered kidnapped, and when it turned out that she killed her kids, I remember being in class, and he just went on like a 20-minute rant about how evil and sadistic this woman is. Can't believe she lied to everybody. Like he was completely pissed. Like I remember all
that
of
dude
us in
was
class,
invested,
like,
huh?
oh yeah, we were like, are you all right, my man? Like, are you gonna be okay? Like, he had that look in his eyes, like he wanted to drive up to South Carolina and kill her.
By the way, Deuce in the YouTube chat says Frank apologized for nothing.
Yeah.
So one part of her testimony actually helped lead to her confessing. She claimed that she had stopped at a red light, but there was no other traffic around. However, police were able to determine that that particular light would not have turned red unless there was other traffic. So that was kind of the hole in her alibi that, or her story, I should say, that they were able to look to. So she was sentenced to life in prison in 1995 for the murder of her 2 sons. Oh,
She
The
still looks
story-
crazy.
the story's not over yet. You remember how I talked about there was sex in this story? Well, there is. In the year
prison.
2000, 2 correctional officers were charged and dismissed with having sex with her.
They wanted that crazy woman sex, man.
Crazy woman prison sex. I mean,
Yeah, what's better than that? It's like George Costanza. I don't have to worry about her popping in. Run it back to
It all comes
Seinfeld.
back to
That's what I'm good for.
I need a bass guitar. She's eligible for parole November of this year.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And that is things you didn't know about the Susan Smith fake carjacking, and way more than we needed to know about Frank on that one. And Jerry Seinfeld. Things you didn't know. Things you didn't know about Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Lord.
Debuted September 27th, 1996. It ran for 7 seasons, 163 episodes, 3 television movies. Now, the comic book version of Sabrina first appeared in Archie's Madhouse number 22 in October 1962. Now, What's up, here?
I said, sorry about my terrible internet that keeps freezing.
Oh, you're good. There was a movie, an original TV movie that was done that was kind of the pilot that had Mr. Ryan Reynolds in it.
Look at that hair.
Yeah,
That's
that is 90s,
hair,
baby.
Got the bowl cutter on the side, curly on the top.
You had that cut, didn't you, Frank?
I wish. I was too scared to
I
grow my
wish.
hair out like that. I was too scared to grow my hair out like that, man. I always kept it kind of short. I had the bowl cut at one point, but
I was close to that, but I didn't have it curly. I did that in junior high school. I did the one where you shave on the back and the sides and you grow it down over the top.
I did this thing, like I was hanging out with like some grunge alternative kids in 7th grade, and they were like, whatever reasons, they wouldn't take baths or wash their hair. So for like 3 weeks, like I didn't wash my hair, and it started to get really grimy. And I was like, I don't know if I'm fit for this crowd because my hair smells fucking awful, dude. And so I stopped hanging out with them and I washed my hair.
You know,
Yeah.
Do you know what those kids were called in my high
We
school?
called them stoners.
No, they were called dirt.
We called them stoners.
So Melissa
I
Joan
call them
Hart's
friends.
her friends. Her real mom was actually key in getting the show on the air. Joan Hart said she is the one who was handed the Archie comic, comic book on a playground at my sister's school in Manhattan and sold it to Viacom as a Showtime movie. She always knew it would make an incredible series, but no one would listen until she cut together a trailer from the movie and pitched it to all 4 major networks at the time. Ultimately, they went with ABC because they liked the TGIF lineup. Now, coincidentally, ABC didn't really support the show because there was another show that they were going to push.
The Alien Family.
No, not the Alien Family.
Damn it.
That would have been great though if it was. I'm gonna try to find more information on that. But no, it was the Clueless television show, believing that one would be a hit.
I
Obviously,
kind
it
of
was.
remember that a little bit. Yeah.
Well, they
In a
brought in.
television show?
Yeah, it was. She was in the movie. And then Donald Faison was in the movie. Yeah. Dude, I had the biggest
I
crush
remember
on
the
her,
movie.
man.
I don't remember that
Stacey
show.
Dash.
Oh my God. She still is beautiful, although she turned into a right-wing lunatic. I don't know about lunatic, but she went far right. Still hot though. You can get that crazy
I'd
sex,
do her.
Frank.
Yeah, get that crazy far right sex.
Frank's got
Make
a,
Frank
he's got
great
a
again.
spare
That's
MAGA. He's got a spare MAGA hat in his closet just in case.
No, but we got a lot of MAGA women around here. They're out there. They'll give you that MAGA ride.
All
Making
right.
sex great again.
Massa.
Making
It's
ass
massa.
great again.
So somebody had a big problem
Making
with the
anal
show.
great again.
Oh my God, Jesus. So somebody did have a major problem
Breaking
with,
glass ceilings.
with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That would be Pat Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson. Oh,
He
because
claimed-
of the devil aspect.
He claimed that it was an example of insidious New Age thinking.
Yeah.
Somebody else had a problem with the show.
Elvira?
She accused them of ripping off her show. Now, she admits that obviously the character existed before, but the ideas for the television show she claims were taken directly from her failed 1995 CBS pilot, which included a talking black cat, 2 old ants, and a teenage girl.
Okay. Fair enough.
By the way, that's Elvira now.
Is she like in her late 60s?
73.
There you go.
and still smoking. Now, there was a failed spin-off of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and that was to get Melissa Joan Hart's sister, Emily Hart, her own show. So in season...
She looks like Joan Hart, but...
I mean,
yeah.
she kind of looks like Topanga.
That or a mix between, who, the chick from the 70s show?
Oh, the one with the red hair?
No, the other
Mila
one.
Kunis?
Mila Kunis?
Mila Kunis and like Melissa Joan Hart made it and did the Conan O'Brien thing. Where they
Made a
put together
baby.
and they had a kid.
Beard, no!
If they made it.
So in season 5, the episode called Witch Right Hall, that was kind of a backdoor pilot. So the character's name was Amanda to get her own show where she would live in a boarding house with wayward witches and warlocks.
So Harry Potter?
Basically. And finally,
Parents that take care of you. Your
Yeah.
parents are just getting you shows. Like, come on.
it was ABC's highest rated TGIF show, but they let it go after 4 seasons. Viacom and Paramount ended up passing on ABC's offer to pay $1.3 to $1.5 million in licensing fees per episode. And they moved the show over to the WB for only $675,000 per episode because the WB signed on for longer than ABC would.
There you
And
go.
that's things you didn't know about Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
All right, bulk buy your TV episodes. That's the lesson.
That was Clarissa.
It's like
not
it's the
Sabrina.
Costco theory, man. The more you buy, the cheaper you get.
Costco TV shows. It's only a matter of time.
Walking down
So
the
get
aisle,
Costco
and it's
streaming.
just a bunch of celebrities sitting on the shelves, and I'll take Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and give me a Fuller House now.
Yeah.
Things you didn't
Fuller
know
House.
about Walt Disney World. Opened October 1st, 1971. Tickets were crazy cheap when it first opened. Can you guys
$30
see the price on that?
$350.
$3.50.
$3.50
Wow, tree fitty.
for
That's
for
the Loch Ness monster.
for adults, $1.50 for kids. Now, of course, you had to pay extra for rides because when this opened, you still had the e-ride tickets and everything like that. So you get a little booklet, and then you would,
It's
and
an
that's how you would actually ride the rides. That didn't get
It's like
changed.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, you got to
pay for everything. You don't get to reuse it.
Really quick over here, Christian Pear says, when are you going to be playing Jackbox? We're going to be playing Jackbox here in about 15 minutes or so, Christian. We're going to get through Walt Disney World here, and then we got a couple other things, and then we're going to get some Jackbox games. Where was I? Oh, and so that didn't change. The tickets didn't change until about the early 80s when Epcot got there. Now, Epcot, do you guys know what it stands for?
The crappiest place on earth, unless you just want to go drink.
No, they've changed it, man. It's good.
Yeah, they have, but
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. And it
There you
was
go.
built by combining 2 different ideas because Walt's original idea was a futuristic city, but by the mid-70s, the Imagineers were like, we can't really do this. So on one side, one group wanted the park to be a
They ran out of imagination.
They wanted to be a futuristic display of modern technology, while the other side wanted it to be kind of like a permanent World's Fair. So they combined the two, and then that's how you ended up with Epcot.
I think if you go on the ride that goes in the giant ball, it actually covers that aspect of it where they talk about how he wanted to build like a community. I think that ended up turning into the villages, but he wanted to build like a community, and it shows like what it would look like in the future.
That is called
yeah.
Spaceship Earth, my friend.
There you go.
So
Well, I like how they turned like their failure. They monetized their failure. They're like, "Oh, sorry, we couldn't do it."
That's
so
what
now we're
Disney-
just gonna tell you we
That's
couldn't
all
do
Disney.
it.
Yeah,
that's what Disney
right?
does best, baby.
That's what it does, man. If something fails, they just repackage it and turn it into something else to make money off of it.
So here you have the Magic Kingdom tunnels, or utilidors. And they're not technically underground. They built these because Walt at one point saw one of the characters walking around Disneyland without its head on, and he's like, we can't have that, so we need to make sure that they're down below. So they didn't actually dig down to build the tunnels. They built the tunnels, and then they built the park on top of the tunnels. That's how
Like,
that
it was all
was.
swamp.
Yep. You can't go down no mo. Now the
Glorious
tallest
swamp.
structures which includes Cinderella Castle and the Tower of Terror, they are 199 feet tall. Oh, here's another. This is what the underground tunnels. Tell me that would scare the crap out of you if you're walking.
Hey, I got some
there.
pictures from the 80s Disney World, and it was like when the dwarfs, they would just put a giant head on them, and their
Yeah.
arms would just hang to
Terrifying.
the side.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's a mission.
I gotta find
Whoever
those pictures,
has
man.
old 80s or 90s photos of them in Disneyland, we're going to do a live stream where we're going to relive them highlights, dude. So round up that shit.
Yeah, I gotta find Fresh Prince's mom somewhere.
And you guys still got to find Fresh Prince's mom.
It's like
So-
Disney Backrooms edition.
Mhm.
He's on his way to the casting couch. So the tallest structures, which include Cinderella Castle and Tower of Terror, are 199 feet tall. Do you guys know why they're only 199 feet tall?
Storms,
No.
airplanes.
I'm gonna guess
Some-
FCC regulations.
Yeah, some law about being 200 feet.
Yep. 200 feet tall means you got to put that red beacon on top due to federal aviation regulations. Now, back to Frank's giant ball of hope over here that he just loves.
The ball of
And the
hope.
ball of hope. Spaceship
I used to
Earth.
think it was a giant golf ball when I was a kid.
I did too. I mean, it looks like one, right?
Yeah, look like you're ready to tee off and hit it.
So it has an interesting drainage system because when it rains, could you imagine if the rain just like hit it and just like pooled off of it? Well, it doesn't happen because they have a drainage system that prevents that, where the rain drains through spaces in all of the triangular tiles, flows through a system of ducts and drains, and eventually it ends up in the World Showcase Lagoon. So all that water just ends up right out there. Now the aquarium at Seas with Nemo and Friends Pavilion has 5.7 million gallons of tank volume, and it is the second largest aquarium in the United States, sixth largest in the world.
It's a lot of water.
Big time water, deep water.
A lot of water.
And finally, Animal Kingdom's official logo actually featured a dragon because the park was going to have a land of mythical creatures that was going to be called Beastly Kingdom. This never came to fruition. And it's now actually where Pandora, the world of Avatar, is at. That's where they were planning that, and now it's where Avatar is. And that's things you didn't know about Walt Disney World. One more to go here. Things you didn't know about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was released October 11th, 1974, made $30 million at the box office on a budget that was between $80,000 to $140,000. So not that expensive.
Cheap and easy.
The original title was going to be Head Cheese, based on the
Head
scene
cheese.
when the hitchhiker details the process of making the pork product.
Okay. I don't know if that would have got over well.
So the idea for the show, yeah, it definitely would have been different. So this is Toby Hooper. He's the man that came up with it. He was the director, co-writer, and his inspiration came from a few different things. One of which is he wanted to do a modern retelling of Hansel and Gretel, as well as real-life serial killer Ed Gein. But the chainsaw idea came from him during a Christmas shopping trip, because he was stuck in a crowd of shoppers, and then he looked up and he saw a chainsaw display, and he thought to himself, I know a way I could get out of here real fast. And then that's how Texas Chainsaw Massacre came about. Now, Leatherface is allegedly based on a doctor that Hooper actually knew, who told him a story about going to a morgue and skinning a cadaver to make a Halloween mask. Yeah, let that sink in.
Oh, that smelled lovely.
Ugh. Now, despite the claim at the beginning of the movie, where the film says, you know, the film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of blah, 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 that whole thing, for years, people thought that this was based on a true story. It's not, other than, Ed Gein being kind of like the inspiration a little bit. But in general, the actual events, none of that is true. Now, the narrator who reads this, do you guys know who that was?
Andy Dick. John Larroquette?
Yeah, it was a young John Larroquette.
That was close.
I'm going to say pre-Night Court. And finally, the movie it's probably not as gory as you remember because Hooper, he wanted a PG rating, and they didn't have PG-13 back then. So he was told by the Motion Picture Association of America that it would help his cause by getting a PG rating if he limited the amount of on-screen blood. And Hooper joked, as you watch the film, notice there's probably about 2 ounces. I think there's a little bit more than that, but he wanted a PG rating. And that's things you didn't know about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story, yes. Ed Gein.
Of wanting to murder people in public.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Out in West Texas.
Out in the West Texas.
That's what West
town
Texas
of El
does make me
Paso.
want to massacre a lot of people.
All right. Now,
Valid.
really quick here. Let me get set up for this. Here we go. All right, it's movie draft time, and we are rocking and rolling with Will Smith movies. Now, there are 4 of us here. We normally only do 3, but I also reached out to a good friend of mine who I worked with down in South Florida, Donnie Odenkirk. Hello, Donnie, if you're watching. And I asked him because he will comment. I put up these posts on my Instagram and Facebook page of what everybody's final triple feature is, because that's what we're trying to do. You're trying to draft the best triple feature about a particular topic. Tonight it happens to be Will Smith. And once a movie is chosen,
wife's name out your mouth.
it's off the board. Love how Frank can't let me get through something without fucking talking.
When it comes up in my head, I gotta get it out. or I
Jesus
forget.
Christ, it's like ADD, man.
It is.
So I have Donnie's list, and so I had him rank them for me. And so since Donnie is the special guest for this week, I'm gonna go with Donnie's first, and then as we look at the scores, we have Frank and the Beard tied at 3 apiece, and since Frank won't shut the fuck up, Beard gets to go second. Then Frank goes, and then Brandon gets to go fourth.
Bring
All
it
right.
up the rear.
So let me pull up Donnie's list here, and he actually texted me he is watching. What's up, Donnie? How's life, man? Where did his list go? Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, here we go. All right. Donnie's first pick. We are going with. What the hell is it? Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Independence Day for Will Smith movie. All right, Beard, you're up. You're up next. What are you going with, man?
I'm going to go Men in Black 1.
Oh, good choice. Solid choice. All right, Men in Black. So basically, we've gone with the 2 movies that went back-to-back 4th of July weekends, right?
Did we go Men in Black?
It was 4th of July weekends. Wasn't it back-to-back years where it was alien movies, it was Independence Day, and then Men in Black was the following 4th of July? I thought it was.
Yeah,
And
maybe
let me know in the
so.
comments if I'm wrong on that one. Also, make sure you guys are clicking the old thumbs up down there. All right, Frank. What's your first one?
What was the first cop movie he was in with? Bad Boys.
Just the,
Yeah,
the
something
first
like-
Bad Boys?
But I do know that Jerry Seinfeld dated a 16-year-old.
Is that what you're busy looking up?
No.
God.
He's doing research.
All right. Brandon, you're up next.
I'm going with Hancock.
Ooh, superhero.
Like that one, that was pretty good.
And
Sleeper.
I thought, yeah, it was definitely, because I remember it came out when the big craze was going on in superhero movies, and this one was definitely a different take on superheroes. All right, you get to go back to back, Brandon.
And then we have The Boys, right? It came out. That was the first one. Then we got The Boys. So
I've tried watching the latest season, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not grabbing me. Much as I would like it to. It's not grabbing me. All right, Brandon, back to back. What's your next pick?
I'm gonna go with iRobot.
Oh,
We're going a little fringe.
nothing wrong with that. You're more than welcome to rock a little iRobot. All right, we're back to you, Frank. What's going to be your second choice?
Damn it, I just had it here and I lost it.
He's too busy looking up Jerry Seinfeld's underage girlfriend.
No, I was looking at some other stuff further back. Oh, I Am Legend, of course.
Oh. Oh, when the dog dies. God damn it.
In the book, the dog doesn't die, I don't think. Also, there's the alternative version out there now where Will Smith actually lives, and they have the actual footage of him living. So, because he's apparently coming back for the sequel, so they want you
Yeah.
to forget about him dying,
Yeah.
and they want you to watch the one where they added where he leaves with the girl and her son, whoever it was, and forget that he died in the previous one. So
I will
Yeah, they
only.
have like 3 different endings or something.
yeah, if you buy it now, it has the newer ending. It won't have that old ending of him dying. It has the newer ending of him. Oh, go.
Living.
We need to leave and just going.
I will only watch it unless they bring in Chris Rock. If Chris Rock is in the movie with him, I'll watch it. Which Deuce in the YouTube chat says, "Can I go with Jada's interview with her boy toy?" That would be great. All right, Beard, back to you, my man. What's your second choice?
I'm going to go 7 pounds.
Ooh, 7 pounds. I don't think I've actually seen 7 pounds.
It's pretty good. It's kind of sad.
Either his internet's crapping out on us. Right when he tries to explain his choice, he's gonna get frustrated.
Trying to express his feelings. There's no
Yeah,
room for
he's
feelings
probably
here.
telling some deep story about something and just completely cut out on him. All right, Donnie's next choices. So he had Independence Day, got that one. iRobot was his second choice. He also had Men in Black and Bad Boys. He had I Am Legend and Hancock. All of these are off the list. However, the next two, he gets back to back. Rocking and rolling with Suicide Squad.
Nah.
By the way, quick pivot to the other Suicide Squad movie, and not even the movie, but Peacemaker. You know when you start watching certain things on like Instagram, it'll recommend things that are similar, or it'll like of the same stuff. Like I watched the one clip of Peacemaker when he's walking out of his house and his neighbor is just flipping him shit about who is his arch enemy. Batman has arch enemies. And he's like, because Batman doesn't have the balls to kill him. How many people have actually died because he hasn't taken out the Joker? So now it just starts flooding me with all this stuff from Peacemaker. And that show is so good. John Cena is fantastic. If you have not watched Peacemaker, my God, go watch it. So Suicide Squad would be his second choice. And his third choice is going to be Ali. All right, Donnie, there you go. You got Independence Day, Suicide Squad, and Ali. And Beard, we are back to you. What are you putting third after 7 pounds?
All right, I'm probably gonna get persecuted for this one.
You will.
I'm gonna take Shark Tale.
God damn it. I thought I had every fucking poster.
You got
Damn
him.
it.
He doesn't have the.
Oh, I
It's a
thought I
cookie.
had
Edge
all of them
case.
too, man. Whatever.
It's a cookie.
Yeah, Shark Tale sucks. Frank, go.
Enemy of the State is going to be my
Oh,
third.
see, this one would have almost been my first choice. I think it's a super underrated movie. It is so good.
Gene Hackman.
Not to be confused with Blink-182's Enema of the State. All right, Brandon. Third and
I'm
final
gonna throw a little something on there. Bagger Vance.
Hey-oh!
Yeah.
Where'd it go? I had Bagger Vance. Oh, it's
Sometimes
under
people
Legend.
just like a feel-good movie. It's Fletch.
Legend of Bagger Vance. All right, so we're going to get to the Everybody's Triple Features here in just a second. A few movies that snuck through the cracks. We had Bad Boys 2. The one scene from this movie that I could not stop laughing at was when Martin Lawrence takes the ecstasy. And then they go to
Freaks out.
Joey Pantoliano's house, and he's talking about the fish with the big fucking eyes. Like, that one gets me every time. Now, of course, they've done other Bad Boys movies. Like, they even have Bad Boys for Life. Do you remember the boy that shows up to take Martin Lawrence's daughter on a date?
Yeah.
And then they do the whole thing at the front where they're waving their guns and stuff at him?
Yep.
In the storyline, that kid ends up becoming like a military badass. And
Yeah,
he
like the
ends up,
Marines.
yeah, and he ends up like saving them and stuff. It's fantastic. Here's one that I might have chosen had I been going is Bright.
Haven't seen it.
Underrated. It's a really good movie, and I specifically remember even watching this one, because I
It's
think I was
supposed to be Shadowrun, basically the Shadowrun setting.
yeah, it's like you got sprites and elves and all kinds of crap going on, and I believe they're actually looking to get it a sequel to it, but it's well worth a watch if you got some time. Make sure to check it out. Some other movies here that were honorable mentions. We also have Concussion. Hitch. Nobody chose Hitch.
Yeah.
Eh. There was Men in Black 2, but you know it's actually rated higher than that?
Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3, yeah.
Because
Josh Brolin, man.
pulls off
Dude,
that Tommy Lee Jones impersonation.
hell
so
yeah, he
great.
does, man.
All right, Slick. Let's just do it.
And then final one, we'll just throw it out there just for shits and giggles.
God, I saw that in the movie theaters and
How
almost
pissed were
walked
you?
out. Oh, I almost walked out in the middle of it. It made no sense at the end of that movie. You're just like, what the shit am I watching?
All right, so here are the triple features for everybody. Donnie, you got Independence Day, Suicide Squad, and Ali. Beard has Men in Black 7 Pounds and Shark Tale. Frank has Bad Boys, I Am Legend, and Enemy of the State. And Brandon has Hancock, iRobot, and Legend of Bagger Vance. And on that note, it's Jackbox time, boys. So here's how this works.
Jackbox.
If you want to play Jackbox with us, it's pretty simple. You can, you just have to if you're watching from your phone, you can't do it because you need to be able to watch the screen and then you use your phone to play along. And there's a variety of different games. There's some that you draw on. There's some that you just play with and so on and so forth. And I meant to bring my iPad because my phone sucks for these games, but whatever. We'll just get a couple of them in here.
Suck it.
So all you have to do is go to Jackbox. Nice. Jackbox.tv, and then we will give you the code to enter into that website, and then it will get you into the game. Now, we kind of stick to the same ones when it comes. There's Drawful. That one's kind of like Pictionary. There's Fibbage, where you're kind of trying to lie your way through some stuff. There's Quiplash, which is where you come up with quirky different things. And then there's also Trivia Murder. I figured we would start with Trivia Murder, if you guys are cool with that.
Sure. Sure.
Oh. There we go. All right. Go there.
Jackbox pulled up.
Jackbox games. Let's see. This is the pain in the ass with that the screen. You guys can't quite see it. Hopefully, it doesn't become a problem. But we're gonna go Trivia Murder Party. If it does, I'll have to rechange that. All right. So once you guys see this code, hold on one second here. So all three of you have Jackbox.tv up on your phone?
Yep.
All right. So NZBU is your code. All right, Strategy Bros in, Andy Dick, which would be Frank, Lord Beard. Now, if you want to get involved with this, you're more than welcome to. We have, as you can see, 4 different spaces. It's just a simple trivia game where it's multiple choice, and you're trying to get out of a murder house and not be killed. If you don't want to get that involved with it and you want to kind of play from the side, you can do that as well, because once this fills up, or if we just click go and we start the game and you show a plate, you can still play along and you can still be involved and you can still play as an audience together. So I'm assuming that we're just going to rock and roll with this one, and then we'll see if anybody wants to play in the audience. So I'm going to say everybody's in. Here comes the instructions.
Buzzing.
Yeah!
Lord Beard.
Special guest.
Wake up. Wake up. Welcome to Trivia
Hey, I'm
Night,
finally
a merciless
cool
deluge of pain and suffering.
All
But
that
we're also gonna
validation.
learn,
Now I can go
with a few
watch
laughs
Creed at
along
my
the way.
local venue.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of trivia
Throw your
questions.
panties on.
If you get a question wrong, you have to fight for your life in one of my super fun mini games. If you do badly in the mini game, I'll kill you. But don't worry, Ghost can still win the game. When one player is left alive, we'll go to the final round where the living and dead compete to see who can escape first. Don't forget, you can still join the audience at any time. Okay, I've only got this abandoned warehouse for another hour when the next killer gets here, so let's get a move on. Okay, first question. Hey, just a reminder that public radio is important. Be sure to donate when you get the chance.
Yeah, public
Thanks.
radio is
And now
important,
back to the
it says.
trivia. What's the name of the fictional town in A Prairie Home Companion?
What the fuck is a prairie home companion?
Use your device to answer the question.
Oh, wasn't that one show? Like old radio show?
Oh, is that why? Because it mentioned donating to public radio.
And the
Right before
correct
that.
answer is...
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, fuck yeah!
Woo!
Oh, Beard's
It
dead.
means only you.
I just took a swing on that one. I didn't know, honestly.
Wow, that's quick. It's quick one and out.
Welcome to the killing floor.
Well, he can still play as
Yeah, you can still survive this.
Every loser must spin the loser wheel.
Oh, there's a
So you
wheel.
got to spin the wheel, Beard.
Go ahead. Give it a... Spin, spin, spin!
A lot of death on that wheel.
Yep.
And
Oh,
the
that's a
loser
shame.
wheel has chosen.
Dead.
And you're dead. But don't worry, ghosts love trivia party games, so you're still in this. You haven't lost or anything. Here at Trivia Murder Party, we believe even the deceased should have a chance to succeed.
Where the fuck did Frank go?
Here's everybody's score so far. Are scores important?
It's a
If you
sponsored
crave
by
external
Mount
validation, then yeah.
Good, let him miss the next
Next
question and die with me.
British comedian Steve Coogan has been portraying which character for decades?
After this game, I gotta resize this monitor. It's cutting off too much of the stuff for you guys.
Time's running out.
Wait, that hurricane's not hitting Frank right now, is it?
Who said? This
It's a
one?
twister, it's a
Did
twister.
I guess that? Ah, shit.
Everyone,
Nah,
Oh, nobody got it.
Yeah.
you're in for a treat.
I knew it wasn't Mr. Bean. I knew that for sure.
Yeah, that's Rowan Atkinson, man.
Back to the killing
Yep.
floor.
It's process of elimination here.
We're going to play chalices. I've given all the safe players a bit of poison to use. Pick a chalice to drop your poison in.
Ooh, cup of a carpenter, cup of a carpenter, cup of a carpenter. Oh, that's on you, Beard. You got to put the poison in.
And it's your turn now. Pick a chalice to drink from. My chalices are dishwasher safe, so please do a load if you're still
Drink
alive
my
at the end.
poison.
Beard, if you didn't put this in number 4, I'm going to be very upset with you. Frank's going to die.
This isn't rocket science, people. The rocket
Did he get
Oh,
bubble
man.
gut? Like, what happened?
Just drink something.
Maybe he messaged.
Yummy, yummy. Now let's
Seinfeld's
see
underage
what
girlfriend.
everyone
She showed
drank.
up.
But let's not forget that not drinking is also a punishable offense.
All right, well,
Now
Frank's
let's
dead.
see where that poison is.
Just like Princess Bride.
Oh,
Was that
snap!
What?
Missed
Don't
us.
drink any poison.
We got
That's
it.
why I prefer the loser wheel.
that? Never get involved in a land war. Right?
This is the scoreboard again. I had thought about having a different scoreboard for each question, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices along the way in game development. Let's try another one. What does the I stand for in GIF? And yes, I pronounce it with the G sound, not the J.
Yeah, that's how you're
Gift
supposed
or
to pronounce it. He says I pronounce it with I pronounce it with the G sound, not the J. Did you ever see Chris Hardwick flipping out on that on the one show he was on after midnight or at midnight? I think it was called. Where he's like, it's
I don't get this. If you don't get this, I'm gonna be disappointed. Did you get this one?
I should. It's interchange.
Yeah.
He said, this one.
That's what I
Nerd.
guessed.
Only a ghost got it wrong. Very good.
Frank.
Let's try this again. Isn't old technology so stupid? Get a load of this. Ooh.
Approximately how many songs did the first iPod boast it could hold? Yeah, I'm trying to think of how big that disc would have been.
32 megs.
Yeah, right.
Time, Serena.
Can hold a song.
God, I still have an old thumb drive that's 500 megs.
Answer
Dude.
is this.
Yeah!
1,000.
One of you is still alive.
I was gonna.
I have a surprise for
Gonna.
you. Let's play the finger cutting
I gotta
game.
choose.
I used to call this one knifey pointy, but the name didn't test well.
He used to call it knifey pointy.
Just choose one of your fingers to cut off. It's hard to mess this one up. Aim
So
for
you
the
know why it
tendon.
does this, right?
Right.
Because when it gives you 4 options, it eliminates that
Looks like my
option.
puppies
Yeah.
are eating well tonight.
Yeah. Well, you know what everybody's gonna pick.
I feel like I should
Hold
make
on,
T-shirts
yeah,
or something.
33
Would people buy
bucks.
those?
Sorry
Or
about that.
hats, Maybe. I'll think
What
about
the hell
it.
happened?
Got people calling, wanting to know who's going where for, the storm.
I was
so-
like, did the hurricane already
Glorious
hit?
Papa John's
Or-
garlic dipping
Nah,
sauce
just,
comes in a
just got people
container.
calling, figuring out what they're doing and where everyone's going.
What the fuck? So far, Brandon and I are still alive.
This.
I see.
Fuck! Not anymore.
1 ounce?
Everyone is wrong.
I thought it was 2.
That's
That's
like a ripoff.
really?
Yeah,
That's
I
it?
Yeah, I thought it was 2 as well.
I thought it was 2
It's a
also.
shot? Isn't that what a shot is?
Time to use your words.
Shot is
Letters
1.125
spell the
ounces.
Depends on what the shot is of.
Hold on, he's doing these.
I got some of these letters from
I
Highlights
put a shot of
magazine.
about 5 ounces.
Don't be the person with the shortest word, or you'll regret it. Spell words now. By the way, the letters don't have to be touching. And don't forget to press submit when you're done.
Can you beat my word?
Probably not.
You're almost out of time.
Supercalifragilisticexpiala. Fuck yeah.
Let's see what you could come
Oh,
up
I
with.
didn't even get it in time.
Life is pain.
Definitely had me on that one. I think I had. Oh, I would have tied. I had markets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, would have been a tie.
All right, we're going to final round here, boys.
Only one of you is still alive. You know what that means. Congrats on making it here alive. Now let's see if you can
I like
escape
my
with
little
your
shark
body.
man.
I'm going to give you a category. Island nations. Tap on each answer.
Oh,
that fits,
because
then
Shim's
press
going to tour,
submit.
so we got to go with Australia.
Let's see the right answers. You move forward 1 space for every
Oh, I thought
correct
it was
answer.
asking me to choose a category. Fuck, I didn't.
Your
No,
team
it's like
flows to
the
the
goddamn
answer.
question.
Oh, did I mention
No, that's
that
the other
only
game.
a ghost gets to
That's,
play?
that's the other game.
If a ghost catches up to you, then they will steal your body. Then they can escape and win the game. Here's everyone's next question. And ghosts get a third choice to help them catch up to you.
Oh, damn it.
Classified as bears.
Sun bear,
Yogi Bear's not on there.
sloth bear, blind bear, care bear.
I'm going to have to punish my writers. Are you afraid of the dark? You should be. Games that require dice.
Game wired. Don't wake daddy. I mean, depending on who you're playing with, that could be, fun.
Yeah, I think it depends on what edition.
Time is almost up.
Uh-oh, you guys. Frank's going to catch up with all of his extra
A
questions.
ghost is right on your tail.
Yeah.
Watch out. Diet Coke ingredients.
What the?
I got,
The Frogut contains potassium benzoate.
I clicked
That
two.
just wasn't challenging enough.
I missed one of them.
Vegas casinos.
Las Vegas!
I'm gonna be there in a couple weeks.
Fuck yeah, dude. Vegas is awesome.
Make sure you go to
Ah!
Everybody got all of them.
This is so exciting. Chuck Norris films.
Zootopia. Chuck Norris film. Like, yeah.
By the way, Chuck Norris is a pussy.
Kill you. Just thinking about you.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did Frank catch up? Oh, shit!
Oh,
And I got him all right!
from behind.
That's what she said.
It's written by women.
Novels written by women.
I've never read a novel in my
I'm
life.
fucking shooting from the hip here, man.
Yeah, same.
Oh! Damn it, Frank got him too. Shit. And I got
Andy
all three.
Dick.
Andy Dick
Andy
wins.
Dick wins. I bet that's something he's never read in the headline.
Oh. Why do you hate me, Anna? It's on you. All you got to do is look at the thumbnail. Just because you picked Shim over me, that hurts here. Right there. It hurts right there. But don't worry, we're gonna get to more Jackbox. I'm gonna wrap up the stream right now because I got technical issues I got to kind of figure out here. As you can see, the actual screen is it's being cut off there. But that's so. Go back and rewatch this stream because we kind of changed some stuff up. We do the YouTube polls, we get to things you didn't know, and then we do the draft. And then from here on, I'm going to try to get through that other stuff a little bit quicker so that we can start knocking out about 30 minutes or so of Jack in a Box on Wednesdays. And then eventually we're going to get to the point where on a Friday or a Saturday, we'll do like a full stream again. But thanks for at least popping in. Go back and rewatch it. Make sure you guys are clicking the old thumbs up there. Thanks to Frank and Brandon and Beard for being here. Frank, stay safe. He's got Hurricane Helene just barreling down on him right now, man. What's the latest on that?
Well, it'll be a category 4 by the time it gets here.
Yeah, so they're showing a big old Cat 4 barreling down on Frank. And
It's a little west, so maybe we won't get the brunt of it.
Oh, is it starting to move a little bit?
It was like the eye wall was going to go directly over us. Now it's at the western part of our county, and it might move a little bit more to the west, so we might just get the back end of that nastiness, but you'd miss out on the more intense winds from the eye wall.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't miss living where hurricanes are. Although
Either way, we'll be without power probably for a good, week or so.
So that was we'll do a recap of hurricane stories next week. So we'll get to that stuff. Hopefully Frank has power next Wednesday. We'll cover the hurricane stories because mine were spent mostly at the radio station because you got to stay on the air as a public service to people. And it was always kind of cool because inside the studios, it's built for a category 5. Like those windows are insanely thick. So you can be sitting inside and there's shit blowing around everywhere and you hear nothing except when the hotel sign from down the block blew off that building and crashed into ours and blew out all the 4th story windows on our building. Like we were down on the 2nd floor and we hear this huge fucking explosion. And we were like, holy shit. So we went up there and yeah, it was our controller's office and the whole 4th floor was just blown out, man. It was nuts. But on that note, stay safe, Frank. Everybody have yourselves a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Don't forget, 3 shorts drop every single day. And then I also take these videos out and put them up.
Mine
so if
do.
you want,
You said 3 shorts drop every day. I said mine do.
Frank wears 3 pairs of shorts a day. And then, I love it when Frank fucking interrupts and he disrupts my train of thought. It's
ADD.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to
Jerry
mute him.
Seinfeld.
It's going to get to the point. I'm just going to fucking mute him when I have to do this shit. Anna says, dude, I lived on the 4th floor in Florida when I lived there. It's terrifying. You missed it earlier. I did say one of the highlights of the entire time living in Florida during a hurricane was I went outside during Hurricane Katrina and I lit a cigarette. Like that was kind of my claim to fame there.
There
But
you go.
on that
The
note,
highlight of living in Florida was meeting me.
that's true. We got to get the picture again. My name is tattooed on his back, by the way. My signature of goat.
Yeah, Yeah, remind me tomorrow. I'll send you a copy.
All right, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. So anybody who is watching this, if you have old photos or anything, we're gonna go through like 80s and 90s and like Disneyland and stuff, and we're just gonna go right down memory lane, and it's gonna be fan-damn-tastic. But again, on that note, have yourselves a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you guys live next Wednesday. Again, we're gonna start doing Jackbox on Wednesday nights. The games, I want to try to get 2 to 3 in. The difficulty is just the time frame in general. Like it's going to be tough to try and figure that out, but we'll do what we can. But on that note, peace out, everybody.